What's up, Cowboy Nation, Cowboy Headquarters, and America's team? It's your guy, G, the number one Cowboy fan, Hampton, coming at you live, direct, and correct with some Mo news. That's what I said, Mo news. M-O news that you can use. And here we are, Saturday sit down with your guy, G, the number one Cowboy fan, Hampton. Straight barbershop talk. Give it up. All right, here we are, man. The weekend has started, and I just wanted to get on here and share something that I ran across, and I've been talking about here since training camp, even before training camps. But I want to get into this, man, and you guys tell me what you think, man. And I've been kind of giving the hint of the possibilities of what could happen. So there's an article. First of all, before I get started, I want to thank everybody for being a part of the Cowboy Huddle podcast. And again, like I always say, without you guys, this is totally impossible. I'm missing something. I got to get it up there. Let me get it up there. Bam. How am I going to start my show without my logo? All right. So listen, let's get into what has been reported, man. And this has been reported by creator, and this is basically what everybody's been talking about, but I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. So it's been reported that Cowboys want George Pickens to take another step. Yeah. Let's go down here and let's kind of get into that. I know you guys probably say, "Oh man, this is old news," but we got to look at what's on the horizon, the possibilities that could happen, or that probably couldn't happen. But we need to talk about this because I felt that this should have been taken care of before. But again, Cowboys want George Pickens to take another step. Now, in his first season playing alongside Prescott and fellow Dallas wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, Pickens recorded 93 receptions for 1,429 yards and 9 touchdowns. Now, this is what was told. Obviously, what he brings to this offense, we showed last year, Prescott added during his comments about Pickens. Now it's just taking another step, not only for him and his game, but how we are going to use him. How are we going to use him as decoys? How other people are going to complement, how he and CD go hand in hand. They both can, you've got to set your game plan up for the both of them. He's done everything I have expected of him. And he has put himself in a great position leaving training camp. But I beg to differ. If Pickens takes that step and also stays on his best behavior, the Cowboy could emerge as legitimate championship contenders by Christmas. Wait a minute. Y'all hear that? Now, Dak said he's done everything. He's done everything that I expected of him. Then he goes into, he says how we are going to use him as decoys, how other people are going to complement, how he and CD go hand in hand. They both can. You've got to set your game plan up for the both of them. Now, personally, for me, I think George has proven himself. But I'm going to go into a little bit more depth of what I got here as far as when we talk about CeeDee Lamb. And I'm just going to show you, and I said this once before. I said, right now, my analysis of this situation, George Pickens is worth a Whataburger, In-N-Out burger, or whatever what do you call them? Jack in the Box burger, Burger King burger right now. But I'm going to show you why and how he can be worth a triple meat. Wait a minute, give it up. With cheese. Now I've been saying this over and over again, but I'm this is where I see Jerry fumbling the ball, doing the old fumblerooski, you know. But let's get into this real quick. So let's talk about the high stake narrative. George Pickens isn't just catching passes in Oxnard. He is systematically dismantling the front office negotiation power. Ooh, wait a minute. Every spectacular, check this out now, spectacular catch against our 2026 defense scheme pushes the Cowboys into a desperate corner. I'm not finished. If he continues to dominate this training camp, the contract leverage shift entirely into his hands for offensive survival. Now that's just talking about the high stake narrative. Now let's get into the analytical warning. See, this is something that Jerry didn't do. And this is what's going to take place if Jerry is not careful. Now, the analytical warning, we are witnessing a volatile leverage point that could redefine our salary cap future. Pickens is exploiting these high stake roster battles to force a massive payout that goes way beyond standard projection. If he maintains the level of dominance, the front office will have no choice but to cave to his demands. See, let's talk about it. See, this is something Jared didn't think about, but what we Cowboys want George Pickens to take another step. Okay. He's going to take a step right on out of this organization somewhere and going to get paid and going to say, hey, man, it was nice knowing y'all. Same thing with when we talk about Michael Parsons. It's not about what team you're playing for. It's about getting paid. That's what it's about. Then we go into the conflict and consequences. Come on, let's talk about the conflict and consequence when we talk about George Pickens has to take another step. So, what happens when your star receiver becomes too expensive to keep, but too vital to lose? George Pickens is currently staging a master class in contract leverage by torching the secondary every single day in camp. This isn't just about football anymore. It's a high stake chess match for the franchise financial future. Give it up. See, this is checkers. This is not your average. This is chess, not checkers. This is not your average checker game. This is a chess game. And you got to remember who's George Pickens' agent, David Mulligata. David Mulligata, like I said once before, can give a fat rat of who his clients play for. See, because you got to remember, agents get 3% of everything that they sign a contract on for their client. So yeah, 27 million. I'm sure David Mulligala is basically aware of him playing under 27 million. But David knows if Dak stays healthy, George Pickens going to run it back. So while the Cowboys want George Pickens to take another step, well, my friends, that next step could be right out the front door to another organization. I'm just saying I don't get what we're doing here. Because George has been torching the secondary. George been standing out even more than CD. Let's talk about it. Y'all see on social media who they showing mostly of? George Pickens and then CD. And everything I just read to you about the conflict and consequences of the analytical warning and the high stake narrative. It's where we are. So just imagine we get all the way to the divisional championship game or the conference. Now let's go. Now we're past the division. Let's get to the conference championship game and we lose. We probably lose by a field goal. But George Pickens put up those same numbers, basically repeated what he did last year. But guess what? The Cowboys wanted him to take another step. And that step could be right out the door. And I understand what you're saying. Well, let's cross that bridge when we get to it. Well, it would have been great to be able to cross that bridge knowing that we're going to have George Pickens here on his team after the 26-27 season. Just something to think about, man. I don't understand this. And, and we heard Dak saying, well, he's done everything. He's doing everything. But Dak, make a motion. Make a motion that you're willing to restructure your contract to keep this guy. But like I said, if he run it back, y'all might just run him right out of the Cowboys organization. Well, that's all I wanted to share with you guys, man. I just wanted to get on here and just kind of touch base on that. I ran across this article, and and this base, we all know that that's what they want. They want to say, talk about his character. And I told you guys I can give fat red about a person's character. I need him to go out there and play football. See, one thing about football, you got to be half-ass crazy to play this game in the beginning, to begin with. But anyway, let's get ready for the Cardinals this evening. See what we look like. What these backups going to look like. Well, again, we just evaluate and we can care less about the win-loss, but we definitely like to see the wins. But we got to go back to evaluating again, and let's look at the offensive line. Let's see. Let's watch the battle for the 5th and 6th receiver, which we know Trayshawn Holden is gone. Let's see what this safety room look like. Let's look at this running back. Let's see if Malik can separate himself from the rest of the pack and claim that number 2 running back, which I'm pulling for Malik. I like Malik. I like all the running backs, but I really just think Malik is the guy that we should label as the number 2 receiver. Again, the jury's still out with me about the quarterbacks, which they played great last week against second and third string players, but I'm really not really sold just yet. If they could carry a team or our team, if Dak just so happened to go down, God forbid it happens, but if it happens, do you trust these 2 guys or either one of these guys to lead the team? Well, that's something we have to think about. But anyway, thank y'all, man, for stopping through, man, and hanging out with me, man. I just wanted to get on here and share this with you, man, but something to think about, and let's see what happens. Let's keep our eyes on the prize. Like I always say, continue to be blessed, continue to stay safe, and whatever you do, continue to be kind. I'm out. Deuces.